Golf addicts, welcome to the 2021 U.S. Open betting preview for the Tour Junkies. I'm David Barnett of the Tour Junkies. I got Pat Perry with me. He's also of the Tour Junkies, and we showed up tonight unexpectedly wearing the same Tour Junkies throwback 2016 Ryder Cup shirt. Look at that thing. God, that's a good-looking shirt.
This is a great shirt.
It's our nation's Open. You know what I mean? It's the Open Championship. Torrey Pines. We're excited. We just finished recording the DFS preview. If you didn't watch that, we were joined by our good friend and caddy for Webb Simpson. Been caddying on tour for 20 years, Paul Tesori, to talk about Torrey Pines. I almost said Tesori Pines. That's what it'll be called when they win. Anyway, Paul gave some incredible insight. We're going to hit some highlights here in a little bit, but Paul gave some incredible insight. And if you didn't watch that, you need to go watch it. But it's good stuff. As always, we are presented by our friends at fantasynational.com, the one-stop shop. If you're doing anything related to spending dollars or Bitcoin or maybe a gold brick on betting on golf in any capacity, DFS, betting, one and done, I don't care. If you're betting with your auntie or your mama or your cousins or your guys at work or a bunch of people, you should use fantasynational.com and go to fantasynational.com/TJ, and you get 20% off any level membership there, no matter what you choose. You can choose weekly and pay $8 a month. $8. You can choose monthly and pay $24. You can choose annually and pay $200 a month to join Fantasy National. It's the one-stop shop. We've been using them for 4 or 5 years now. All the data is licensed by the PGA Tour, so you know it's good. And you can access all the stats and so many tools. Go to fantasynational.com/TJ and get the 20% off. It's good stuff. It's our trusted source, I promise you. Try it out for a week, and if you love it, upgrade to the month, and you still get the 20% off. So there you go. Pat, we talked about this on the DFS show, but I said that I was going to get lit tonight, and I am on my way. My face is starting to get a little numb. I got this bottle of Casamigos that I
think you said you were going to finish it. I feel like you're a little ways away.
Dude, I've gone like that far. It was like here, and I've gone like that far.
Okay.
And we still have.
You always talk about your face getting numb too. Like, I don't know if my face gets numb.
That? Mine does.
I don't think mine does that. Like, do you have some nerve problems?
No, but I mean, I can like do this and like I don't feel anything. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't have that same issue.
But
there's a lot of things I can't feel when but
yeah, I almost made a comment. Anyway, we have this whole show to do, and then we have the Tour Junkies After Dark show to do.
Oh, we're doing that one too? I didn't realize we were doing that one. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Marcus Griffin in the chat with me. He's right there with me. So Marcus must be taking something down too on a Saturday night. We are recording this on a Saturday night. Normally we don't. Normally we record this on a Monday night. And yeah, so anyway, this is kind of a very first look, like what we're looking at for betting outrights and our early thoughts on Torrey Pines in the U.S. Open. The tournament that shall not be named is going on at Congaree right now. The third round is come to an end, and we have zero to give is what we have about that tournament. So we're going to move on there. I will say this, we are going to give away some stuff. We're going to give away some stuff. If you have already heard this on the DFS show, it's the same thing, so you can skip forward. But we are going to give away a couple things. There are 2 ways to win a couple things, okay? The first way is to join the Nut Hut, okay? If you haven't joined the Nut Hut, what are you doing? It's $10 a month, $90 a year. Go to tourjunkies.com, click on Golby's Nut Hut, and join our private Discord server where 24/7, there are over 400 members in there chatting it up about golf, DFS, about betting on golf, about other sports, about random stuff. A lot of friends being made, a lot of lifetime friendships being made, a couple of enemies maybe being made as well. But we have a great time. We share a lot of inside information over there. A lot of information that we get as media members is in there in the Caddy Info channel. It's a great thing. It's where we do our Wednesday night live chats, which we'll be doing this week, where me and Pat, Chalk Bomb, Ben, get in there and mix it up live and answer your questions live in the Nut Hut about lineups, about betting, about whatever it is. The Nut Hut is where it's at. But one of the aspects of the Nut Hut that we don't talk enough about is the Listener League, Pat. You kind of help facilitate the Listener League, and I thank you for that. But the Listener League is an invite-only DraftKings contest to Nut Hut members every single week. And if you win the contest each week, you get an entry into the finals. Or if you win a segment for total points, you also get an entry into the finals. And you say to yourself, what are the finals and why do I care? Well, whoever wins the finals, which will be held at the Northern Trust in about 10 weeks on August 19th, whoever wins the finals is going to win an all-expenses paid trip to either your choice, Augusta or Savannah, to play golf a couple times with me and Pat, to have some drinks, have some laughs, eat some good food, and just get to know each other. It's going to be a great time. TJ is going to take care of it. Currently, there are 32 Nut Hutters that have made it to the finals, and there's more people to come. So it could be you, okay? Right now, segment 4 is starting. So this week through the Wyndham, 10 weeks. If you win segment 4, you get an entry. Or if you win a weekly tournament, you get an entry. So here's the deal. We're going to give away a massive TJ merch bundle to whoever finishes second place in this week's Nut Hut Listener League. Not first place, because you're already going to win a free entry into the finals and may get a chance to come to Augusta or Savannah. No, if you finish second place, if you're the bubble boy.
So second place is not the first loser in this case.
No, actually third place is.
Yeah, third place is the first loser.
So now third place is bubble boy. But if you finish second place this week in the Nut Hut Listener League, so you got to get in the Nut Hut to play, you're going to win a Tour Junkies hat, a Tour Junkies towel, a Tour Junkies head cover, which is a pretty big deal. Those are like $55 on the internet. They're sweet head covers. You're going to win some coasters, some stickers, a ball marker, and you ready for this? A Siwoo Kim t-shirt. By the way, we sold out of all the Siwoo Kim t-shirts, but we've reordered. So you're going to win a Siwoo Kim t-shirt. It's the best-selling t-shirt we've ever done. If you missed out the first time, you can get in on it the second time. The Siwoo Kim t-shirts are coming back in the shop. Just give it a couple days. Check back. It'll be there. But the winner or the second place finisher in the Nut Hut Listener League is going to get that as well. It's fantastic stuff. Now, there's a second way to win something this week for the U.S. Open. Second way. So you could win both. We are going to draw a winner at random who goes on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, if you're still Pat's age, Apple Podcasts, and leave a 5-star written review about the show. Why you like the show, why you love the show. We're gonna draw one at random. Make sure you leave your Twitter or Instagram handle so that we can DM you if you win. That is, if you don't do that, we cannot pick you to win. Okay. So leave your Twitter handle, your Instagram handle at the end of the review, and that's how we will notify you that you've won. The winner of that is going to win Pat's driver, a tailor-made driver. It is used, okay? It does have a lot of marks on the toe, but the sweet spot and the heel are very clean. So if you're a pure hitter or you tend to hit it on the heel, it's going to have plenty of trampoline effect still in play, okay? You're going to win Pat's driver and some merch. Not a full merch bundle, but you're going to win a little bit of merch. Pat will throw that into you. It's going to be good stuff. I'm looking forward to it, Pat. We're going to pick some winners. It's going to be a good time. I am excited about the Nut Hut, and the Listener League is popping in there. So there you go. All right, Pat, let's get into Torrey Pines, the golf course, and why don't you talk about that and then kind of tell me your key takeaways from Paul Tesori.
Okay. Yes. So we are at Torrey Pines golf course this week for the U.S. Open. It is the South course. It is playing as a par 71, almost 7,650 yards. We've got 156 players in the field this week. Low 60 and ties will make the cut. You got Bermuda fairways overseeded with rye. We have Kikuya rough this week, something we don't typically see.
Oh, very nice.
With a little bit of rye in there as well. And it is thick. It is very thick, and we've seen some of that already on social media. You've got small greens compared to average tour greens out here, and you've got the typical West Coast Poana greens, those bumpy greens and whatever else. In 2019, we did see a few renovations by Reese Jones, but basically it was just to kind of spruce this place up for the U.S. Open, and they changed a few bunkers around, and they added some tees and whatever else, just giving it a little more teeth for the U.S. Open. You've got 7 par 4s on this course, by the way. that are 450 yards and over. So very long par fours, and all the par fives are playing over 560 yards, as we typically see in the U.S. Open. It is very imperative that you hit fairways this week. Okay, now we saw with Bryson back at Winged Foot that it didn't matter if you hit fairways because he just bombed it away. But I'm gonna give you my first takeaway from Paul Tesori about that.
This is a good one.
Here in just a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do think it is still important to be in the fairway this week. And then you've got to be precise with your irons. We mentioned small greens. You got to hit these greens in the right spots in order to give yourselves the best, chance to make a birdie. But look, par has always been your friend in the U.S. Opens. We always talk about that. But for stats, I'll look at course history a little bit. I think, it's something that it's probably going to be a little bit of a tiebreaker for me. I mean, look, this is totally different than we see this course play in the winter at the Farmers Insurance. But still, I'll look at course history a little bit. I'll look at form always, strokes gained approach, driving accuracy, ball striking, long-term stats on putting on POA, and then bogey avoidance. We look at, bogey avoidance is one of those things when you get in U.S. Opens, you got to have guys that, don't make big numbers consistently. They're just, pars, they're making pars, birdies when they can. They're smart players, not getting themselves in a whole lot of trouble. But let's talk about takeaways here. The biggest one that Paul talked about, the first thing he talked about, because David and I had a debate on Bryson and what he did at Winged Foot, because he just bombed it so far to where when he got to a wedge, it wasn't that whole, big deal for him. Well, Paul mentioned this. He thinks the USGA is actually going to make the rough even higher in those longer landing spots off the tee. So these guys that are bombing it, and it's not going to be as consistent from tee to green with the rough. It's going to get a little thicker as they get closer to the green. I think that's going to be important, not only off the tee, but also around the greens as well. So I think that's going to make scrambling, a little bit tougher. So I think scrambling is something that you could look at as well. Paul mentioned that also, talking about Kikuyu grass. It's not something that they see very much on tour. So it's something that they're not used to. So I think, folks that, are just good scramblers in general around the greens, that'll help them. Because no matter what the grass is, they tend to do well there. Now, POA greens, he talked about that. They're going to be bouncy. I think it was interesting that he said there's not really a whole difference in POA greens between when they play a lot of these tournaments in the winter versus in the summer. I think that was interesting to me because I wanted to know. Because we see that with a lot of grasses. They change between, the seasons and things like that, but not a whole lot of change. Still going to be a lot of, bumpiness to those greens. So there you go. I don't know what you grabbed out of the Tesori interview. You can obviously go back and listen to the DFS show. We talked about this course a ton in that show. So.
Yeah, before I get to that, I do want to, this is what they call in the business kind of a tease. We're going to have, we got a slightly new format to the betting show tonight coming up. We've got 2 ending segments tonight that you don't want to miss. The Let 'em Hang prediction, that's a new one. And Just the Tip coming back at you tonight at the end of the betting show after we talk about our outright picks. I'm excited about that. Also need to tell people that, we had Paul Tesori on, caddies for Webb Simpson. Webb typically you'll see Webb on TV with white stuff on his face. And if you wonder what that is, that's sunscreen, because he's always trying to fight off the sun, which you should do if you play a lot of golf. I would highly recommend it. So if you're playing a lot of golf, you're trying not to get cancer, or you just got some dry skin, maybe some acne scars, maybe some wrinkles that you're trying to, trying to get rid of. You just want some healthier skin, then there is a product out there for you that we've started using here. Caldera Lab. It's called The Good. So our friends at Caldera Lab have produced this multifunctional face serum called The Good, which is an amazing name, by the way. And in just a few weeks, your skin can be smoother. It can be firmer. You want it firm, right? Most things you want firm. Not a lot of things you think to yourself, I need that soft. I want that more squishy. Not a lot of stuff you really want that to happen with. So we got to be careful there. They did an 8-week clinical trial proving that The Good works on all skin types. You can have a beard, you can be bald, you can have a dry scalp, and The Good will keep it nice and shiny, man. But they got all kind of stuff you can try. And the best part is you can try it 100% risk-free. And if you don't love it, they'll refund you in full. So if you're a Tour Junkies podcast listener, you can receive 20% off your first Caldera Lab purchase. Go to calderalab.com and use discount code Tour Junkies at checkout. That is CALDERALAB.com, Caldera Lab, and use promo code Tour Junkies to get 20% off anything you buy, which is fantastic stuff. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, let's see. Takeaways from Paul. Very interesting. He talked about Jason Gore now basically being in charge of the setup at the USGA, former PGA Tour player, played for a long time. Jason Gore, great guy. And learning from Winged Foot. And I think you're right, man. Talking about basically saying like, okay, on a hole, if you hit a 3-wood and you miss the fairway, the rough is going to be a little shorter. If you hit a driver and you miss the fairway, you're a little closer to the hole, the rough's going to be a little longer. So the closer you get to the hole, the longer and thicker and gnarlier this rough is going to be, which is very interesting to me. I didn't think about that. I didn't hear any of that before we had Paul on the show. He said a lot of things. He talked a lot about Webb, about his neck injury, about his last few weeks, about how he's feeling coming into this place. But he also talked a lot about Torrey Pines and about the greens and all that kind of stuff. So very interesting stuff. He definitely seemed to. He also said, unlike Winged Foot, Torrey Pines is kind of right there. Like it's kind of right there in front of you. Not a lot of dog legs, not a lot of twists and turns, which he said tend to lean more in the hands of your bomb and gouge players. So it seems like Tesori feels like Torrey better than Winged Foot suits a guy that can hit it straight and hit really good wedges and chip and putt. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, obviously, Torrey Pines is a long golf course, but I don't know. I think the USGA does want to see a lot of different players and player types play well here. I want to go over some trends, Pat, because I noticed some trends. There's some research that I did that I think is interesting to see. And I'm gonna bring up a graphic actually. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can check this out. These are DB's U.S. Open trends here. But if you look here, in the last 10 U.S. Open winners, 9 of them were in the top 25 in the world golf ranking. 8 of them played in at least 3 U.S. Opens.
Why do you look so confused in this graphic?
I'm not sure.
You're just like really confused about these trends.
Yeah, maybe I am. I do look confused. I should pick a better headshot where I'm like confident.
Yeah. Anyway,
of the 10 winners, all had at least one top 25 or better in a U.S. Open. 8 of them had a T12 or better in one of their previous 3 starts leading up to the U.S. Open. So some flash of form there with a T12 or better. This one I really thought was interesting. 7 of the last 10 U.S. Open winners had never won a major championship before. Thought that was a good one. 9 of the last 10 had a PGA Tour victory on U.S. soil in their career. So just a few trends there to take note of here as we get into Torrey Pines. Listen, you can see a bunch of quotes from a bunch of different golfers lately that this place is not going to play at all like it does in January, February for the Farmers Insurance Open. I'm not looking at course history at the Farmers whatsoever. I get it. You said you're going to do the tiebreaker situation. That's fine. I'm not going to look at it at all, honestly. I'm looking at bogey avoidance, which you mentioned. I think that's important. Strokes gained approach around the green, off the tee, good drives. I think all that's important. So, yeah, let's get into this, man. Let's take a look at some bets. Now we're gonna do this a little different. Similar to the DFS show, we're gonna nail down some picks in certain ranges. And the first range is favorites up to 25-1. We're gonna pick 2 favorites up to 25-1 on our sports book options, and then one guy to stay away from in this range. Now, I will say before we get to this, Pat, I'm going to spring this on you. There's a head-to-head matchup already up on DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, this is Saturday night. Basically, the only thing up right now on a Saturday night is outrights and this one head-to-head matchup. DraftKings has Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka prop bets going on right now. Obviously, you got the whole thing going on between these two guys, right? DK has Bryson at -120 and Brooks at -107. Bryson as your favorite in a head-to-head matchup. I think based on the DFS show, I would be correct in saying that we would both take the Brooks Koepka side of this matchup, correct?
Yeah, that's correct for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think, listen, I think Bryson is very much a beta compared to Brooks, even though we've seen some beta Brooks behavior lately after the PGA. But I think Brooks comes in here. We talked about this on the DFS show. Like, Brooks doesn't give two rips about the tournament that shall not be named that's going on at Congaree right now, where he missed the cut just barely. I don't think he cares. Obviously, he just wanted to see what's up. He said the knee feels fine. He's ready to go. This is a U.S. Open. This is Brooks territory. And I think he would want nothing more than to pummel Bryson in this event. So I think all the smart money should go on Brooks here in this matchup at 107.
I'm with you there. I don't have anything else to add. I think that Brooks is the man in that matchup. I'm all over that. So
yeah. All right. So who are your two favorite outright bets in this up to 25-1? So it can be 25-1 or shorter. Who you like?
Well, I think I typically am like you. I don't like to bet guys too short. But if I'm going to be kind of pinned into a couple bets underneath 25-1 odds, I'm going to start with Brooks at 14-1. And there's a lot of guys here at 14-1. That's kind of a little bit of a sweet spot. And maybe you need to, if you're going to take a shorter odds guy, you just got to kind of plant your flag there, like we talk about in DFS. But I like Brooks at 14-1. I will take him. We know he is just like a big game hunter, loves to, he comes to play in majors. And I saw a lot of positive things this past week at the tournament that shall not be named. He actually hit what you saw on TV. I don't know if you didn't see him hitting the ball well on TV. I don't know what you were watching, because he actually, in practices leading up to the tournament, I saw him hit the ball extremely well. I watched him for 9 holes. I think he had 3 or 4 birdies in those 9 holes. Played well, was very relaxed. Nothing looked wrong with his knee or anything like that. So I just don't see it. I think I think he was just, he was doing exactly what he said for this tournament. He was just working on some things. I really do think he purposely missed a cut. There were some putts that he missed. I'm not kidding. I was like, was he just aiming to a point to see if he could hit? There was a bug to the left of the hole, and he was like, all right, I'm going to see if I can hit this ladybug or something. I just don't think he was even trying.
Hey, Ricky. Hey, Ricky Elliott. It's Caddy. Hey, Ricky, watch this. I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna hit that cicada right up the ass right here on this.
Yeah,
So in the chat right now, Kevin Calabro says something that's interesting. Yeah, it's very true. He gained strokes tee to green. He couldn't putt, and he said after the round, he just couldn't figure out the speed. Okay. Brooks didn't care. He was also at the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight 2 nights before.
Yeah,
do you know how bad you have to not care to go to the YouTube versus washed up boxer fight? You know how bad you have to not care to do that? He doesn't care. But Brooks is going to show up at the U.S. Open ready to get another trophy. To add,
let me. Here's where it actually I should have known, or this should have been the information that I gave out to the Nut Hut. I'm leaving on Wednesday. I'm going to, so there's a place where you walk just outside the clubhouse to get on the little shuttle here. This place is it is just, it's crazy. It's a cool place. And here comes Jenna walking down this gravel road. So if anybody doesn't know Jenna, that is Brooks's girlfriend, walking down this gravel road by herself. And me and my dork ass self, I'm like, hey, tell Brooks good luck this week. And I swear to God, I think like she knows who I am. First off, some random just said to tell you good luck. But I swear, I think she rolled her eyes. I swear there was an eye roll and kind of yeah, okay. And that's really how she said it. Almost all right, we're just we're not going to be here for the weekend. So you're just wasting your time.
And Jenna kind of like
fiance, whatever, Marcus. I don't care.
Jenna kind of knows us a little bit, right?
Yeah, she does.
I mean, she's worn our T-shirt and put it on her story.
So anyway, I probably should have known then, but look, Brooks is fine. I like Brooks this week at 14-1. That's a long answer to why I like him at 14-1.
Tell Brooks the week.
And then I'm going to go with I'm going to leave somebody for you because I think you're going to go with this guy, and I'm going to let this one go. So I'm going to go with Xander at 18-1 also. I like it. I like Xander. He's 18-1 on PointsBet. He's a little bit shorter, I think, on some other books. But I like him there. Look, he's going to be chalky, and if you're playing DFS and whatever else. But at 18-1, I think those are good odds for him. If we're looking at just shorter odds than 25-1, the guy grew up out here, West Coast guy, has all the tools to win this tournament. So I like him 18-1. So there you go.
On the Bryson Brooks bet, I looked at a couple things here that I'll reference later. Strokes gained in the U.S. Opens total. Bryson's played in 6 U.S. Opens. Okay. He's gained almost 34 strokes gained total. Brooks has played in 1 more, 7. He's gained 75 strokes gained total. More than double what Bryson's gained. They're both about the same in ball striking over the last couple months. Bryson putts a little better on POA. Brooks is better around the greens. Both iron plays pretty good. Bryson's iron play is not as good lately. Bryson finished T38 at the PGA. Brooks finished T2. I think that's a clear take the Brooks at -107 bet. All right, my 2 favorites here in 25-1 or shorter. I'm going to start with Colin Morikawa, who you can get at 22-1 on PointsBet as of now. I did not mention him on the DFS show, but I know you did. T8 at the PGA, but the most astonishing thing with Colin Morikawa is the ball striking over the last 2 months. He is number 1 in this entire field in ball striking, strokes gained, ball striking over the last 2 months. That would be strokes gained off the tee plus strokes gained approach. He is the only player higher than 36 strokes gained, and he's gained 40 strokes off the tee and in approach over the last 2 months. It is insane. Obviously, all you're looking for him to do is putt better than he has been, but he's a California kid. He's quite familiar with POA. He's quite familiar with putting on this golf course. I think Colin Morikawa at 22-1, you better take him now on PointsBet before it gets shorter. The next play for me is Patrick Cantlay.
That's what I knew you were going to go there. That's why I saved him for you. I saved some Cantlay for you.
Thank you for that. He is actually 25-1 on both DK and PointsBet. By the way, if you're in a state where it is legal to sign up for one of these sports books, you can go to tourjunkies.com, check out our sports books page. We do have promo offers for PointsBet and DraftKings. You can click on any one of those offers and redeem those. And we'd love for you to do that. That would help us out too. That'd make us look good. So Cantlay at 25-1, I love. Listen, I love Cantlay, period. The ball striking is back. He's checking the box there. He putts good on POA. He checks the box around the green, checks the box in approach, played okay in US Opens. I just love Patrick Cantlay. He's killing it. I think this is definitely a course for the Cali kid to take down his first major championship. I
got to give you credit too, because you started getting back onto him after he had a few really bad weeks. Was it the PGA where you brought him up and
he had 4 missed cuts, and I talked him up for the PGA. I believed in him, man. I believe in him. He's a world-class player. He's an elite ball striker. When you get a kid like that at these longer numbers, I think you got to jump on it. Now, we do have a stay away player in this field, in this range, the 25-1 or shorter range. And my stay away player is Jordan Spieth at 14-1 on both DraftKings and PointsBet. I mean, there's a couple of guys at 14-1. I'd take all of them over Jordan Spieth. I'm not buying Jordan Spieth. He lacks pop in the bat that I would prefer at Torrey. I'm not saying you have to have it, but he does lack distance. Since the Masters, he is on a downward trend in strokes gained approach, which I don't like. That's integral here. POA is his worst putting surface. Fairways gained, good drives gained. 2 stats on Fantasy National. He is outside the top 50 in both over the last 24 rounds. So, I mean, if you're not hitting fairways, you better be long. He's not doing either, Jordan Spieth. And his U.S. Open record since his win in 2015 has been not good whatsoever. At 14-1, I would take anyone else at 14-1 over Jordan Spieth. I would rather have John Rahm at 10-1 on PointsBet over Jordan Spieth.
Okay. Well, I actually like Jordan, so I don't like that play at all. And I will go in that same, like we talked about. I mentioned this with the 14-1 range. There's a lot of folks here, Brooks, a lot of them, and a lot of big names. For me, DJ is the stay away play. DJ's the stay away play. I think this week, we're getting a little bit of maybe some false confidence here with what DJ's doing. So although today wasn't that great for him, but I'm not sold on DJ, and I don't want to pay for him at 14-1. So I think the odds are okay. I mean, that's probably what they should be, but not going to waste my money there. So DJ for me is the stay away.
Yeah, I get that. All right, let's kick it down to the mid range, 26-1 to 75-1, kind of this mid tier here. Man, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of names here. This is tough because you got some names here that are in the shorter than 25-1 range on some books, but they're longer in others. I will tell you right now, as of Saturday night, recording this, PointsBet is offering better numbers in this short to mid range. They're just flat out offering. Actually, they're offering better numbers all around. But man, it changes week to week. It's a great reason that you need to have multiple books, because some weeks DK just kills it. Some weeks PointsBet kills it. Right now, a lot of my picks on PointsBet are better here on a Saturday night. Yeah. And so Wes Bearden on the YouTube chat is asking about these T-shirts. Man, these T-shirts are long gone.
This was like a one-off. We only made like a few. A Ryder Cup. It was just for the Ryder Cup, and we made.
Yeah, Ryder Cup 2016. They've been gone. I literally had to wipe dust off of the collar.
Yeah,
and
same
then
here.
Showed up wearing the same shirt. Amazing. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, please comment. That helps the show. It helps push the show to the recommended videos on YouTube, and it helps us out. You can comment what side are you taking on that Bryson Brooks head-to-head. You can comment if you watch the Paul Tesori video. What do you think your favorite takeaways are from Paul Tesori? Comment that. Comment anything. Just comment. All right, Pat, where are you going in this 26-1 to 75-1 range?
Man, how many picks do I have to do for this one?
3.
Okay. So this is like the DFS show. I'm just gonna start every range. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna start with Patrick Reed at 30-1. Love some Patrick Reed this week. Now you mentioned
PointsBet, he's 30-1. He's shorter. Yeah, he's much shorter on DraftKings.
Yeah, but he's 30-1 on PointsBet. Now you mentioned you aren't looking at history, but he did win this tournament back earlier this year at the Farmers and Insurance Open. Or Farmers Insurance, not Farmers and Insurance. Anyway,
okay,
whatever. Patrick Reed, I like him this week.
All kinds of things.
I mean, you look at his strokes gained approach, top 30 in the field, always a great scrambler, top 40 in ball striking, top 10 in putting on Poana greens. I mean, everything about Patrick Reed makes a whole lot of sense, and I'll take him at 30-1. And then the next play for me is going to be Louis Oosthuizen at 50-1.
Lewis. What if we just call him Lewis?
I'll call him Lewis. I'll call him whatever. Lewis. I say all kinds of things, just like that. Yeah. Anyway, look, this guy is, he comes to play in majors. Top 25 in the field in strokes gained approach, top 40 in ball striking, 11th in bogey avoidance, 11th in strokes gained around the greens, top 10 in putting on.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Pat? Here we go. We lost Pat. Is he gone? Okay. All right. We lost Pat, so that's cool. It's only a U.S. Open, Pat, so don't worry about it. I'll just I'll take it from here. Here we go. I do like Louis Oosthuizen. Oh, okay. So Pat just notified us that his power has gone out in Savannah. Thunderstorms. Praise God. That's awesome. Here we go. Jukin and jiving here on the Tour Junkies podcast. If he comes back on, great. If he doesn't, you get an earful of DB. And I got to be honest with you, I've been drinking a lot of Casamigos, so here we go. All right, in this mid range, I do like the Patrick Reed and the Louis Oosthuizen play. I like a lot of guys here. Honestly, it's a lot of fun in this mid range. I think Tony Finau. What if Tony Finau just wins his first like real PGA Tour event and it's a major? You know, I think it could happen. Tony Finau, where he be now, does a lot of things quite well. He's got a good U.S. Open track record, T8 at the PGA Championship. Checks the box putting on POA. One of the best around the green players in the field, and a lot of people don't think about that. Checks the box with his irons, hits it plenty long. I think Finau just 33-1 on PointsBet. He's much shorter than that on DraftKings. I think you need to jump on Finau on PointsBet right now. I think that number's only getting shorter. Then I'm going with Shane Lowry, the Irishman. Dude, I would be so bold. I would be so bold as to say Shane Lowry, I would bet, is top Irishman over a guy named Rory McIlroy. I think Shane Lowry, he is playing so good right now. He's one of the best scramblers in the field. The iron play has been solid. He doesn't get himself in a lot of trouble off the tee. Let me find Shane Lowry. T4 at the PGA, T6 at the Memorial. If you look at some of the key stat categories for Shane Lowry, let me just pull this up. In the last 24 rounds, you ready for this? At 60-1, he is 13th in strokes gained approach, 8th in strokes gained around the green, 16th in good drives gained, and 8th in bogey avoidance. I think Shane Lowry is a stud here. He's an Open champion. Okay. So, he can close the door. He's one of the best scramblers in this field, maybe the best, honestly. Now, POA is not a surface he's probably really familiar with. Okay. No big deal. MBD, as the kids say. So I like Shane Lowry 60-1. And then a guy that I do think Pat also likes, because we talked about him on the DFS show, but Jason Kokrak at 70-1, just right there below Shane Lowry. I mean, I talked about some of the trends, right? I mean, this guy just won a golf tournament, and he's 70-1. He just won the Charles Schwab. Apparently, the books are not smoking the Kokrak because they're 70-1. Like, really? 70-1 for Jason Kokrak, who won a strong field event last year in the fall, okay, and just won the Schwabi. Not too bad. His putting on POA is trending nicely. When you look at the rolling report on Fantasy National, he putts better and better on POA. His irons are immaculate. He's a long hitter that can club down and putt really well, like he did, and strike it really well off the tee, like he did the Charles Schwab. In the last 24 rounds, 18th on approach, 8th off the tee, 7th in bogey avoidance. And he's confident as ever. Like 70-1, Jason Kokrak can easily win this golf tournament. I think, and 7 of the last 10 winners had never won a major. Okay? Never won a major. Dude, I'm telling you, Kokrak and Lowry are not getting any longer. They're not getting any longer. So if you don't bet them now, if you're listening to this early and they're still there, you need to jump on that right now. Marcus Griffin in the chats, I love this. Talking about Shane Lowry, the Irish legend. Everybody see Leprechaun say, yeah. I freaking love that. I mean, that's just one of the best videos ever. If you don't even, how could you not know that video, the Leprechaun video? It's just the best in Alabama. All right. So Pat's not here still, so I don't know what's going on there. I mean, at this point, he could be, he could be building a fire and possibly with Flint or he could be, what could he be doing? He could be trying to find the like the wind-up radio that a relative gave him at Christmas one time that he thought he would never use. He's probably trying to look for that. He probably doesn't have a flashlight prepared. A lot of other things. His wife's probably pissed at him because the power went out and she can't finish her movie because wives just get pissed and stuff like that. All right, let's talk the long range here. So 75 to 1 or longer, up to 125 to 1. All right. I got a couple names here that I freaking love. I freaking love two guys, both at 100 to 1. The first one, here we go.
Woo, shaking that ass, shaking that ass, shaking that ass.
God, I mean, our sweet South Korean prince, Siwoo Kim. The t-shirts sold out faster than we ever would have imagined. We reordered some. So if you missed the Siwoo Ric Flair t-shirts, they're going back in the shop. You can pre-order those shortly. Be on the lookout. But Siwoo Kim, he's going to care because it's a major. He just come off a top 10. He hits it a long way, scrambles really well. I think Siwoo's definitely a play here at 100 to 1 on PointsBet. Hey, Pat. Hey, buddy. Nope, not here yet. Okay. Siwoo is in play for sure. I love him. And then Max Homa, the California kid, coming off a great finish in his most recent event at the Memorial, a T6. Okay, he's been kind of hit or miss, right? But now you get him in his home state of California, Torrey Pines. He won in California earlier. I think he won the Genesis, didn't he? I think he won the Genesis. We had him. I know that. The scrambling is improving if you look at the trends. His putting on POA, very solid. His iron play, even with the missed cuts in play, has been very solid. He's 30th in the field in strokes gained approach. Checks the box off the tee, good drives gained, doesn't make a ton of bogeys. The scrambling is a little sus, but that's it. Everything else is good. He's 100 to 1. He's won in California in a tough field. Max Homa could do this at 100 to 1. I love it. Are you with us now, Pat? Nope. Okay, Pat's still not here. He's only here in if you're watching on YouTube, he's here. If you're listening, he not here. He can't figure it out. Technical difficulties, Pat, which is very common. That's very, very common. Okay, now I'm going to move to now listen. Now top 20 bets are not out yet. The numbers aren't out yet, but I think Siwoo and Homa is where you start to look at top 20s. I think that's where you kind of start. You start taking a peek. Is Pat here now? Nope. No Pat still? No Pat. Okay. Good God. Professional operation. I'm going to take a sip of my tequila. I am mini tequilas in. Yeah, what's producer Sam doing? What are you even doing, Sam? All right. Long shots. Bombs. Over 125 to 1. And I'm going to give you one like kind of bomb, but then I'm about to give you like two massive bombs that I honestly, in my heart of hearts, I'm not even kidding you, believe could shock the world and win this golf tournament. Oh, are you there, Pat? I hear breathing. Are you there?
You can probably hear me.
I can hear you. You can't hear me?
I can hear you not through my headphones, but now I can hear you through like the actual computer.
Oh God. Okay. I don't know.
That's probably going to cause some issues, but whatever. Some sound issues, but
shocker. God, man. Okay.
Well, when your power goes out in the middle of a show, that can happen. So.
All right. Well, you sound all right now. I don't know. I'm going to go and you keep working on it. All right. 3 bombs I got over 125 to 1. The first one, and I hate to say this because I think people who listen to the show regularly are going to roll their eyes, but he's 150 to 1, people. And it's Matt Wallace. I know I keep talking about Matt Wallace, but he is top. He is so good in all the stat categories. 20th in approach, 25th around the green, 26th in good drives gained, 23rd in bogey avoidance. Did you hear me? That's in the last 24 rounds in this field. The approach play is improving over the last 12 to 8 rounds. The around the green play is very good. The putting on POA has improved since he's last putted on POA. He's 150 to 1. Matt Wallace. That's pretty good. All right, the next two are total bombs. They're long shots, okay? All right, the first one is at maybe I shouldn't do that. All right, 300 to 1. Brendan Steele at 300 to 1, on points bet. Okay, he's not even offered on DraftKings. He's coming off a 37th place finish at the Memorial. He's a California boy, hits the ball a freaking mile. Okay, he's a PGA Tour winner, not a bad scrambler. Irons, despite some of the poor recent play, the irons are actually trending nicely. Putts best on POA. Brendan Steele is a steal. 300 to 1 for a PGA Tour winner in California, and he's a Cali kid. Like he's a great option. Okay, and then the last pick I'm going to give you is Wyndham Clark at 500 to 1. West Coast boy, top 20 at the Charles Schwab. Hits it a mile, putts it like none other. Top 10 around the green play. Just can't hit an iron. My God, man, hit an iron. Just learn to hit an iron. But 500 to 1. So obviously Clark and Steele are auto top 20 bets for me. Whatever the number comes out to, likely longer than 5 to 1. I'm sure those are auto top 20 bets for me. So that's it, Pat. Real quick, are you there? Are you there, Pat?
Yeah, I think. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Okay. All right. So let me start with I'll screw the 26 to 1 to 75 to 1 bets. You got Patrick Reed that I said, Usti I said, and then everything went away. But I'm with you on correct there. I like, by the way, Adam Scott is 100 to 1 still on points bet, and he's like way shorter than that on some other books that I've seen. Harris English is 100 to 1 on points bet. I think he's another guy. Like what? It's not like Harris English went away. He's playing good at the tournament this week, the one we're not talking about. But it's not like how come Harris English is all of a sudden like not a good play?
I just don't think
he's been playing well.
Boy, baptized and sprinkled in Bermuda is going to win a major championship on POA. I can't see it.
Baptized and sprinkled in Bermuda. Well, could you see it in Webb Simpson? He won on POA. He is a Southern boy.
He doesn't feel as Southern to me as Harris English, who played I guess just because he played for the Dogs. By the way, speaking of grasses and and greenery, I know a lot of folks out there are trying to eat better. They might be trying to eat some green. They might be trying to do some meal planning, stuff like that. I've been doing it for the last year or so, lost some weight. HelloFresh is helping me do that. They cut out all that stressful meal planning. I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't buy the containers. I couldn't portion out the stuff because it was annoying. It took too much time. So HelloFresh can help me get it done. You get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door, man. It's easy, okay? And it's 28% cheaper than shopping at your grocery store and 72% cheaper than eating out at a restaurant, Pat. 72% cheaper. That's a lot of percents cheaper. So I'm pumped about that. HelloFresh is doing it, man. They are America's #1 meal kit. If you go to HelloFresh.com/TourJunkies12 and use code TourJunkies12, you get 12 free meals and free shipping. So the Tour Junkies and HelloFresh are help feeding your ass 12 times. And guess what? And it's healthy stuff and it's delicious stuff. I just had the bulgogi meatballs, man. And I don't know if you know about bulgogi, but bulgogi is good. Okay, it's delectable. And they can do breakfast, lunch, dinner. HelloFresh knocks it all out of the park. America's #1 meal kit. So go to HelloFresh.com/TourJunkies12. Use code TourJunkies12. Get 12 free meals plus shipping. But yeah, okay, Harris English, I don't think he's going to win this golf tournament. But okay.
Okay, a few more I'll give you, and I'll leave it with that.
By the way,
Tesori even mentioned.
Go ahead, sorry.
Tesori even mentioned Brandt Snedeker. He's at 150 to 1. putts extremely well. And Poa
Ooh.
has been playing, okay lately. Went on a run, by the way, at the tournament that we shall not name to make the cut.
It's Brandt Snedeker. Did you just
You
say
know,
Snedeker?
yeah.
By the way,
He could win a U.S. Open. You never know.
me and Pat did have a bet that I think people should know about. It's the best friend bet.
Yeah.
It's the Justin Thomas versus Jordan Spieth bet.
Do you just want me to not give the rest of my picks?
No, I do. I just keep thinking of things we need to tell these people in case they didn't watch the DFS show. I have Justin Thomas. He has Jordan Spieth. Best finish position. The loser is going to have to get a body part waxed live on the podcast by their wife on the Open Championship podcast. So whenever the Open comes around in a few weeks, you can make sure you check that out and watch us get a body part waxed. JT versus Jordan, the best friends bet. I'm excited.
Okay. Anyway, Kevin Strillman, 150 to 1. Don't mind that. Guy's just been solid all year. And, we made fun of him because he had the chance to win the PGA Championship. If you check our Instagram and our Twitter feeds and all that kind of stuff, and, he didn't win it, but still had a chance on Sunday and has still been playing well even since then. And then lastly, Robert McIntyre at 200 to 1.
Dang. Robbie Mack. Interesting. Yeah, I don't mind the Strowman pick.
Who are your long shot bets? Let me I was out of the picture when you're.
Mine were Matt Wallace, Brennan Steele, and Wyndham Clark. You love Wyndham Clark. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. I hate Steele.
Yeah.
Wallace, I think, is overplayed at this point. I'm done.
God, I know. I keep playing Matt Wallace, but he's 150 to 1. I can't stop. 150 to 1, I can't stop. Okay. Now we have 2 remaining segments of the night, and then we're going to button this bad boy up. This one is a new one. We're calling Let 'em Hang predictions. And I want to challenge our listeners. Okay. We got some listeners out there that maybe dabble in doing some graphic design. You may dabble. And if you want to do a graphic design for the Let 'em Hang prediction of the week, you should do that. And if it's great and we like it, you can send it to us and we'll put it on the show and give you some cred for it. But we new thing, Let 'em Hang. So a bold prediction. Obviously, this is a bold prediction. We're likely to be wrong. But of all the predictions where we are likely to be wrong, we're thinking that this one is more likely to happen. Okay. So a Let 'em Hang betting prediction, one from each of us. We're going to do this every week on the podcast. It's exciting. So submit your Let 'em Hang graphics for the Let 'em Hang predictions of the week. This is somebody that we've not talked about, Pat. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure your Let 'em Hang prediction or your Let 'em Hang graphic is something that won't get us kicked off of YouTube. Okay, like don't send us a picture of your actual testicles. Well, you're nuts. Don't send us a picture of that.
Yeah, please.
Don't overlay your actual nut sack over something, over a Tour Junkies.
This is not an invite to that. I don't even. If you think it's an invite for that, like, what's wrong with you? First off,
yeah,
like you need to reevaluate what you think an invite is.
Yeah, Wes Bearden in the chat says just use the BYU track athlete from today. Yes, that guy went viral. That guy went viral today.
Okay, I missed that.
Even
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna check that out afterwards.
Even Paige Sporanic tweeted about it. This is a guy
but now I got to. I don't even want to check that out. It sounds like something I do not want to see.
Are you looking up a guy's nuts right now? God, dude.
No, I'm just saying, like, y'all are.
Okay. Yeah, you're looking them up.
Well, you saw it.
Producer
Sam's looking it up.
Hey, if you find it, screenshot it, share the picture. Okay. This is a guy that we've not talked about. Dude, we didn't talk about him on the DFS.
Just told people not to show their nuts, and now you're saying, hey, if you...
I know. We didn't talk about this guy on the DFS show. We haven't talked about him thus far on the betting show, and he's a popular name. And he hasn't come up yet. Here we go. This is a big risk here, dude. This is a big risk. But when I was looking at it, I was like, you know what? if I'm a gambler, I'm going to get some good odds on this. I believe that Corey Connors, there's a name.
Oh, no. Where's he about to go? What's DB about to say?
I believe that Corey Connors is not the top Canadian in this field. Corey Connors, the ball striking man, the menace of ball striking, the Canadian killer, Corey Connors, who I normally love. Okay. There are only 3 other Canadians in this field, which is a little scary.
Who are they?
They're
Who are
people
the other
that,
Canadians?
they're people that suck, frankly. Adam Hadwin, Mackenzie Hughes,
Oh, okay.
and Taylor Pendrith, who's a Corn Ferry Tour player. Now, I like Taylor
And
Pendrith.
you're gonna say this is letting them hang. You're dragging them across the bottom of the YouTube floor.
Let my nuts hang. Let my nuts hang. Oh, they're hanging low. Corey Connors is a top Canadian. Woo! Yeah, I don't think.
Have you seen that GIF with the guy that like grabs his balls over the fire and like starts like actually Ben or Chalk Bomb Ben is a big one on that GIF, and you're doing a little bit of that right now.
All right, so this is more about fading Corey Connors than it is about the other Canadians. Obviously, I mean, because it's not a strong contingent. I mean, he's one of 4, and then the other 3 are Hadwin, Hughes, and Pendrith. Okay. This is more of an indictment on Corey Connors. He missed the cut in his 2 U.S. Open appearances in 2020 and 2017. His worst putting surface is POA, and he sucks on POA. Okay, he's Sergio Garcia. I mean, I'm saying he sucks at putting. Period. He's Sergio Garcia level bad at putting. Now he comes to a worst surface. Okay, POA.
A worst or a worse?
His worst. I don't know, man. What I don't know. It's 10:15. I've been drinking a whole bottle of tequila. When you look at difficult golf courses, he's okay. But like he's done well at the Masters. But when you look at like the Open Championship, he's only played in 1. He missed the cut there. This is going to be a tough course, right? In the PGA Championship, most recently finished 17th. Not bad. Before that, missed cut and a T64. So really, when you combine his U.S. Opens, his Open Championship, and his 3 PGAs, his best finish was a 17th. Other than that, he's got 4 missed cuts and a 64th. And then the approach play is actually trending the wrong way. His irons are going the wrong direction when you look out at long-term form and start looking towards short-term form. The irons are going the wrong direction, and he sucks at putting. And he sucks around the green. But now sucks around the green is not a big deal for Corey Connors typically because he's just so good at hitting greens. But if he misses these small greens at Torrey Pines, he's screwed. So I'm just going to, if you would give me money on Hadwin, Hughes, and Pendrith versus Corey Connors, I get all 3. I would take those 3. There you go. There's my let 'em hang prediction of the week.
All right. Well, I'll make mine quick. My let 'em hang prediction involves oh my goodness.
Oh dang!
I did not know that we were going to go this route.
That man's got his that was like some bubble gum hanging out the bottom of his shorts right there. The BYU guy, dude. That's some Mormon. That's a Mormon leather right there. Mormon leather. Praise God.
I don't even know what you were talking about. Where did you come up with that?
Aren't the BYU
Kind of
people
seemed like an acorn or something.
Yeah, that was a little.
Anyway,
that was like a dove breast hanging out the bottom of his shorts right there. Paige Sporanic talked about that. Can you imagine?
She did. Did she like that acorn?
She tweeted about it. I don't know if she said she liked it, but she tweeted about it. Paige Sporanic did. Can you imagine Paige Sporanic tweeting about your nuts? Like, that's a lot of clout. You'd get a lot of Twitter followers off of that.
Yeah. All right, here's mine. Here's my let them hang. There is a top player in the world who has missed the cut at the Masters. He has also missed the cut at the PGA Championship, and I think we're going to get the trifecta this week. The number one player in the world, Dustin Johnson, is going to miss his third straight cut in a major.
Oh, wow. Wow. Third straight.
That is my let him hang prediction. Dustin Johnson, I know he's playing well this week. I don't care. I think he misses the cut this week.
So let's.
I mean, that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. It's a bold prediction. So let's take a look at what DJ's doing right now. It's Saturday night. He is 8 under, tied for third. There's a delay. He's through his 17th hole. Let's take a look at the stats. This week, he is 8th in strokes gained off the tee, gaining 3.6 strokes.
Doesn't surprise me.
35th in approach, gaining 1.5. 10th around the green, gaining 2.89. 26th in putting, 2.24. Like, it's not that terrible. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
No, he has certainly got it back a little bit this week, but I think it's going to – I don't know. I have been asked to make a bold call, and
he does seem a little off.
Wouldn't it be crazy, though, seriously, for the number one player in the world to miss the cut in 3 straight majors after he won the Masters, even though it was a fall Masters and all that? I get it. But he's going to miss the cut at the Masters, the U.S. Open, or the PGA Championship, and then the U.S. Open. That'd be pretty – I mean, I don't know if that has ever happened.
It would be if it weren't DJ, because DJ's like, oh hell yeah, I won the Masters, like I'm good. Just I don't care now. Just let me do my thing and do Paulina and be done. But yeah, I mean it's a bold prediction. I don't know that I don't even know that that's as bold as Connor's being the worst Canadian. Like
I think that is bold. Like I'll give you that.
Better
that
about yours
like,
than I do Connor's.
Yeah,
but I believe it. I think it could happen. I think
you gotta believe. I mean, like we've been. You gotta believe in your prediction.
Yeah. All right.
Even if it's as bold as it is.
Praise God. That's Let 'em Hang predictions of the week. Excited about it. Now we're gonna button this bad boy up with one of our favorite segments that we've done. We're going to keep doing this for a few weeks. It is Just the Tip, brought to you by the Tour Junkies. And it's just a little tip. You know what I mean? It's a tip that could help you in daily fantasy. It's a tip that could help you in betting, wagering on golf. This week, our boy Pat Perry is going to bring you his tip. You're going to get Pat's tip in your ears this week. And
here's my tip. Here's my tip. If you'll accept it, can I give you just a tip?
Hey,
I promise nothing else. I promise nothing else is going to happen. I'm just giving you the tip. You're going to be okay. Cool. All right. This one's betting related, by the way, this week. Betting related, just a tip. And actually live betting related. So
live betting?
A lot of what we talk about leading up to the tournaments are, they're pre-tournament betting. We're getting those kind of odds, matchups, whatever else. I like to do a little bit of live betting, or as some folks like to say, in-game betting. We can do that for golf as well. So that basically means the tournament has started, and we've got some data. We've got some finishing positions. We've got whatever else that change, obviously, once the tournament has started. And I think you can get a little bit of value depending on when and where you want to place a little in-game or live betting wagers. One is, after the first round. You get a good. Let's just say we'll bring DJ back into the fold here. Okay, we'll bring good DJ. Let's just say he's 8-1. He's a favorite pre-tournament, and then after the first round, doesn't have a great round, but he's maybe 3 or 4 shots back. Especially like a U.S. Open, where anything can happen. We know about that's why I think live and in-game betting is even better in golf, because so much can happen. I mean, one hole you could make a 7, you make a triple on a par 4. The leader makes a triple, brings everybody back in the field if he's up by 4 or 5 or whatever. I mean, there's so much can change hole by hole, round by round in golf. So let's just say you get a DJ. He's the favorite at 8-1. Goes off on a Thursday, has a so-so or a bad round, and all of a sudden he's like 20 or 25-1 on a Thursday night. Look at his stats. This is where Fantasy National comes into play. FantasyNational.com/TJ. They got in-tournament stats. Maybe you just read off his in-tournament stats for the tournament that we're not talking about.
Yeah.
This week. Okay? You may look at the stats. Great on approach. Great off the tee. But maybe his putting was terrible that day. Okay? Who knows? We don't know. But that means that, everything's good about his game. Had a bad putting day. You get him at a little bit better odds than pre-tournament at 25-1. He's 3 or 4 strokes off the lead. Everything changes, and you get some good value. We saw this with Phil Mickelson, actually, at the PGA Championship. I don't know what he was after round 1. And actually, you don't typically see first-round leaders in majors win the golf tournament. It rarely happens. We did see it with Phil, because I think he was the first-round leader, wasn't he? He was also the second-round leader. Same thing, in-game betting, live betting on golf. Phil was about 50-1 on Friday night of the PGA Championship. Still got, 250, 300-1 lead. So what? You missed out then. You missed out on that. If you were crazy enough to bet him pre-tournament at 300-1. But you get him at 50-1 on Friday, and nobody thought he would still win. And then what happens? He wins. So I think you can get a lot of value in some of the in-game odds. You can get them also on top 5s, top 10s, top 20s. It's just something that you can't avoid. And if in this day and age, when we're not betting casinos, but we're betting online and the online sports books and the legal sports books, they're changing those in-game odds constantly. I think if you pay attention to that, there's a lot of value to be had there, and it's not something that you just need to not look at. So I like those in-game odds. I think FantasyNational.com does a great job with in-game stats. So something that you want to look at there. And then another thing I want to talk about is hedging strategies. So let's talk about that. Okay?
I think you should save that for another week.
Okay, you want me to just finish with that right there?
Yeah, I think you should save
because that's all I got for in-game.
Yeah, I think you should save it because I think the in-game is good, and I think hedging is another week. And we've already gone long.
All right, we can save it.
I think that's save it. I think you're right. The Fantasy National live, after round 1, after round 2, after round 3 stats are key for people to be able to pick up on those. I don't. We talk about it all the time. Like, we don't like betting the short numbers. I don't get jazzed up. I don't get a betting boner. Betting a guy at 8-1. I just don't. Like, I'd just rather bet another guy that's like slightly less whatever at 25-1. But if they come out round 1 and they're not, within 4 or 5 shots of the lead, they might get longer, and that's where you can jump on them. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to the ball striking versus the putting stats. You can do all that on FantasyNational.com/TJ. So I like that. That's fantastic stuff there, Pat. I'm proud of you, man, for hanging in there with your internet being all crappy and stuff. And it's the U.S. Open week. I'm pumped. We got a ton of good content coming out on TourJunkies.com. You got the Fantasy Golf Sommelier hitting the YouTube channel on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. You got the Chalk Bomb email that you can subscribe to on TourJunkies.com. Golby's Nut Hut is popping the live chats on Wednesday night. We can't wait for that. Leave a comment here on the YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up as well. We appreciate all the listeners, all the support. It means a lot. We've been grinding our tails off. All right. If you want more Tour Junkies content, support the show. Leave reviews, comment, buy stuff, Nut Hut, all that jazz. And let's have a big week for the U.S. Open. I can't wait. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the U.S. Open from Torrey Pines. See ya.